Hello and welcome to my channel, J.I. Colorist. My name is Jody, and today we're going to start a series of pictures that I'm going to be doing in the Johanna Basford World of Flowers coloring book. So what I have planned is I have a double page spread here, and on one side I'm going to use a variety of watercolor mediums, and then on the other side I'm going to use a variety of colored pencils. So I thought that that would just be interesting to see, and what I'm going to do is film short videos of me completing small sections of each with the different mediums. And today we're going to start with the Zig Clean colors. They're a water-based medium. They're the Zig Clean Color Real Brush. It's the 60 set. These are the colors, and we will start on the watercolor page. So I have already prepared this page with Daniel Smith's watercolor ground, and I've got a short video that I'll show you right now on how I completed that. Okay, we're ready. We're going to do this area here, and as I've mentioned, this page has already been treated with Daniel Smith's watercolor ground. The other items that I have on hand is I have a plate for a palette if I want to use it, some paper towel, cloth to wipe it on, a water brush with some water in it, and of course the Zig brush pens. So let's just look at our items here, and let's pick some greens. And I think I'm going to go with 41. And I'll pull out all the colors I'm going to use, and then I'll be right back. Okay, the colors that I've pulled so far are number 48 emerald green, number 41 light green, number 50 yellow, and number 52 bright yellow. So we're going to start by doing this section here and see how that goes. Get everything ready. So you don't have to use water with these. You can, they are water-based medium, obviously. And I just thought I typically use them. They don't bleed through, but if you do want to use water with them, then you do need to have some type of gesso or watercolor ground applied to your paper first. If you don't plan on using water to move the pigment, then you can use them on plain paper. So since I am going to use a variety of watercolor mediums on this paper, I decided to use the watercolor ground. So since I've put that on there, I might as well use it with these as well. So if you go out of the lines, you can correct it by lifting it with the water brush. Let's add a bit of other color. Let's see how that. So you can mix them either on a palette or directly on the page. The tips are very, very fine. It is a brush, so there are nylon bristles, but because it's so tiny, I find it much easier to work in small areas. So I would use these instead of fine liners. Just gonna move the paper around so I can keep my hand out of the way for your viewing. Although that probably looks odd for you looking at something sideways, but I'll try and keep it upright for you. And just to show you, I'll wait for that to dry for a second, and I'll show you the back of the paper, that there is no bleed through. To make the paper smooth, after I applied the watercolor ground, I did take a nail buffer, and so very, very fine sandpaper, and just lightly went over the top if there was any ridges on the page. So I didn't scrub the page, I just lightly buffed any of the ridges so that the paper remains smooth, and that really has helped. Because in the past, also when I applied the watercolor ground, if you go in one direction and then go in the so if you're, when I applied it this way first, and then I also applied it this way, and that gets rid of brush strokes and any grooves in your in the paper too. Okay, so I think I want a little bit darker in some spots, a bit of shadow. Let's see if I just go in with the same color even. Okay. Try and do this without turning the paper. There we go. And I'm gonna have to turn the paper for this one though. Sorry. I'll make sure I keep you in frame. So yeah, so this will be a series, and I have a variety of mediums. So I just thought we'll do half the double page spread in watercolor items and mediums, and the other in colored pencils. And we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'm gonna close these up and move on to the flower. So I'm going to use the bright yellow at the base. Do all of them. And then we're going to lighter yellow up top. So as you can see, you can blend just with the markers themselves. You don't need to use water if you don't want to. But if you are going to blend them together, it's best to have them on paper that's going to allow you. So by adding the watercolor ground, you've basically added some sizing to the paper. So that's why you can blend them. Okay. And what I will do is, after this dries, I'll probably come back and do some additional shadows and shading. But again, still with the watercolor mediums. So not with anything else. So we will stay true on this side of the page to just using watercolors. And so I don't forget what I've used. I will actually write in each box what medium I use, so that we can, because this is going to take, this series will go over quite a while. So I'm not anticipating getting this page, and I won't be including this in my monthly video until it's actually finished. So I don't generally show whips except for the map that I've got going in Romantic Country #2. So the only place you'll see this picture will be in these videos. Okay. Okay, we're going to come back and do a little bit more darkening. So okay. This area, if we go out of the line, we can just blot it up a bit. Oops, doing the wrong cap on here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out 61, which is light brown, which is this color here. And I'm just going to use it as a darker area here. Add a bit. And then I'm going to blend it out, not with water, but with the orange. And the lighter yellow. Okay. Now I'm going to make sure these are dry. I'm going to add some light blue to the background here. I'm just going to cover this whole area. And it doesn't seem to be leaving streaks, it's just going on nicely, so we'll have to see as it kind of dries. Watch for if it becomes streaky, then I'll add some water and see if I can smooth it out. And just because they're it's a brush, just very light pressure is required. So if you're someone who has problems with your hands, watercolor mediums might be a nice break from pencils for you for a bit. I'm just gonna turn the page, make sure you're still in. Okay, while I continue doing this, I'll just stop the camera for a few minutes. Okay, so that's finished. I'm going to blow it up a little bit so you can see. It is a little bit streaky, so I'm going to take my water brush, make sure it's clean, and just kind of using some circular motions, just kind of add a bit of water and just kind of move the pigment around a bit, just to get rid of any really harsh lines. And then it's a little bit more watercolory effect as well. So I'm not adding a bunch of water, I'm just this is just damp, and I'm not squeezing. I'm just moving it around a bit. Okay. So can you see the difference now? Okay, we're going to let that dry, and I'm going to pick some colors for our butterflies. Okay, I've picked some colors for the 4 butterflies. I've picked number 10 black for the center. I have 33 Parisian green, 36 light blue, which is the same blue that from there, and 61 light brown, which is the same brown that I used inside. So let's start by bring you up a little closer. I'm going to make all 4 of them identical. They're tiny. Okay, and the nice part with the real brush pens is that the brush is so tiny. It is kind of, and it's flexible, so it's easy to get into all these areas. Okay, and we're going to go dark blue, and down here dark blue, and then we'll do light. I may at the end, depending on how things go, but I may add some of the Winsor Newton iridescent medium because it is for watercolors, so that wouldn't be cheating per se. So not sure if I like that, but we'll I miss my stickles and stuff like that, so I may do some more. So let's do this one, and then after you've seen me do this one, I'll finish this on my own. There we go. Okay, I'll finish this one up on my own, and I'll show you the completed square shortly. Okay, these are the final touches. I'm going to use the emerald green number 48 just to do these leaf kind of items along the edge. And I also switched up the brown to be a lighter brown. So I went back and lightened up with some water the other butterflies. So just, and I took a darker blue for the light blue because it was getting washed out quite a bit. So those are just a few changes. So if you don't like how it's going, you can always make some adjustments. Okay, so I'm going to use the Parisian green and do these little triangles. Okay, and the green along the edge, and then we'll be done. And then once this is totally dry, for the butterflies, I will come back and add some kind of sparkle to it. So, but we will do that on another day, and I look forward to seeing you back for the next installment. We have Albert Durr watercolor pencils, we have Graphitint, we have Staedtler graphite tinted pencils, and Neocolor 2s, and Arteza watercolor brush pens. So we have a variety of watercolor mediums coming up. So I hope you continue watching this series with me, and I hope you have a colorful week. Thank you.